What's up, Foundation? What's up, Foundation? What's up, Foundation? Man, it's me, your big partner, Tony. Man, God been working on me, man, since I was born. And don't forget, man. I represent Jesus Christ.
What's up, Foundation? What's up, YouTube? It's me, your big partner, Tony. Man, I'm back again. Man, I was just thinking, people been asking me in the comments, they want to hear more stories. Again, Toon, tell us more stories about you and Crazy Ray. Tell us more stories about you and Crazy Ray. Okay, more stories about me and Crazy Ray. Unless you just brand new to the channel, you would know that, I had a brother. And we weren't brothers by blood, but to me, we were more than brothers by blood. We were brothers by every sense of the word, every connection of the word. There was no other way that on this planet, to me, that we could have been more related than what we were. You know what I'm saying? When I lost the homie, I lost a part of me. I really did. I really did. Okay, if you're new to the story, if you're new to the channel, I mean, you like I said, I was in prison when the homie passed away, when his life was taken from him, and it messed me up bad. When I tell you it messed me up bad, it to the point to where I had a nervous breakdown. They had to put me in a hospital for a minute. I literally went cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. I was upset. Boy, when I tell you I was upset. I was hurt. I was devastated. We were that close. I found out later that when he had passed away, my mother had told my sister, she was like, "Girl, don't you tell that boy. Don't tell him. Because that was the first thing went through my sister's head about, we gotta tell Toon, we gotta tell him what happened to Ray. And Moms was telling her, look, no, don't tell him. He gonna lose his mind. He gonna lose his mind in there. Just, we got to let him find out when he get out. But of course, something like that, you wasn't gonna be able to keep secret from me. You know what I'm saying? No, not for long. They kept that secret as long as they could, which wasn't nothing but a couple of months, maybe a few months. But anyway, this was that. I mean, the homie he was my other half. He was my heart. He was my soul. He was my everything to me, man. That was my dog. That was, you know what I'm saying? We was inseparable. We was joined at the hip. You know what I'm saying? I've been knowing Ray. Ray was a year older than me, and I've been knowing him since, we were kids, 12, 13. And at first, when we first met, we weren't cool like that. Me and his cousin, he had a cousin named from the set named Looney, called him Looney Raj. Now me and Looney were dogs at first. You know what I'm saying? Me and Looney, I met him through Looney, and me and Looney ran together. You know what I'm saying? Elementary school and at Carver Junior High School. And eventually, you know what I'm saying, met Ray, in and out of jail and stuff. Then, one day it just clicked. We started running together. We realized that we had a lot of things in common. We kind of offset each other. I was buck wild, volatile, off the chain. The homie was cool, calm, and collective, laid back like a rattlesnake with no rattlers. You was gonna know I was coming for you. Him, you wasn't gonna know he was coming for you until it was too late. But now, like I say, I tell y'all all the time about, the drive-bys, the shootings, and everything that me and the homie went through. But when I realized I ain't never told y'all about the good things. You know, I ain't never told you about the days we didn't have to worry about being shot at. I ain't never told y'all about the days we wasn't shooting at nobody. You know, I never told y'all about the days where we wasn't coming in the hood, you know, checking the homies, going off on them because they were soft, scary, or they just wasn't as hard as we felt they should have been. You know what I'm saying? No. So in this video, I want to tell you about the few, you know, about the few, you know, about a couple of few little times we was out and about and just had a good day. My mama, she loved Ray. You know what I'm saying? Now, she would always call him by his real name. His real name was Danny. And man, when I tell you my mama loved him, she loved him. And she would always wonder why he was hanging with me. You know, mom thought I was a scourge. You know what I'm saying? She thought I was the devil incarnate. And she didn't know how dangerous Ray was, you know? And me and my sister would talk about it. And, you know, my sister would come to me and she'd be like, man, Mama think Ray walk on water. She just don't know that boy's something else. I'd be like, yeah, you know, it ain't no thing. Whatever image she got of the homie, let her keep that image, you know. And I remember a few times, man, we walking out the house. The homie, I'll be walking out with a khaki suit on or Pendleton overalls, you know what I'm saying? 501 Levi's with the hush puppies on, you know, blue rags everywhere. And he would be walking out the house with a 3-piece silk suit on with the rolls coming out his pocket, you know. And Miles would look at how I would dress and she would look at how the homie would dress. She would shake her head. She'd be like, Danny, you need to get away from him. He ain't gonna do nothing but get you in trouble. And I would be laughing, man. And you know, Ray would tell Moms, it's okay, Mama, you know, I'm gonna keep him out of trouble. While the whole time now he was gonna get me in some trouble. You know what I'm saying? That's what it was gonna happen. He was gonna get me in some trouble. But you know, the same thing at his house. You know, his mama, she loved me, cared for me. And you know, the homie had a big family. You know what I'm saying? He had a lot of brothers and sisters, and you know, from the cousins and stuff from the set. And it was cool, you know, and like I said, he even had brothers that was from, at that time, the main enemy set to the Fire Trays were the villains. And he had brothers from villains. And but he loved his brothers, though. You know, he loved his brothers, no matter where they was from, which it should have been, you know, as it should be, you know. And man, it was times, man, me and the homie would just go to the beach, just me and him, and kick it. You know, he was, you know, the homie was a womanizer. You know what I'm saying? He was doing this little pimping thing, and it was times, man, we'd go to the beach and just, you know, get it to females. And back then, you know, we was both known for our real long hair. We had real long, silky hair. And, you know, females would just, you know, hey, they was fiending over us back then. And, man, we would just kick it. Wasn't on no gang stuff. Wasn't on no set tripping. Wasn't on none of that, you know. It'd be sometime, man, me and the homie would go to the movies. You know, and it was always just me and him, because back then, a lot of the homies, well, then none of the homies want to hang with us. Period. They was like, no, y'all on some more stuff. We cool, you know. And so, in which, back then at the time, that was cool with us, because we didn't want them hanging with us anyway, because we felt they wasn't hard enough to hang with us, you know. But man, we would go out and eat. I told you about the time when the homie swore up and down he didn't eat pork, and he let me order the food from Tam's one day right there on Vernon and Fig, and I got the chunky beef burrito and the chunky pork burrito. But I accidentally gave him the chunky pork burrito on accident, and he knocked it down. The pork had the PK on it. The beef had the BF, something like that, I think. And I looked at the burrito on the side of the bag. I'm eating out of it, BF. I'm like, ooh, I got the beef burrito. So I looked at the homie, and he going to town. And he even commented on it. Dang, man, this burrito good. This burrito good. I looked at him like, it's good, homie. You know, I didn't say homie, I said cuz, you know, at that time. But I'm like, it's good, homie. He like, yeah, man, shoot, man, this burrito good. I'm telling you. I'm like, all right. You know, I just, hey, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. But he swore up and down. He didn't eat no pork. He didn't eat no pork, man. It was cool. A lot of times, man, we would mess with sisters together. Man, we used to mess with these two twins, and we couldn't really tell them apart when we first met them, and wasn't even tripping. You know what I'm saying? Because we was just carefree with whatever we was doing, and he would even, and I believe it was a few times they switched it up on us. I was messing with the other one, and he was messing with the other one, and then messing with that one, and it wasn't no thing, you know, it wasn't no thing. But we were so close that if he met hold on. Oh, I don't know what happened. The video cut off. But anyway, yeah, sometimes, man, that same $100 would go back and forth. It would just go back and forth. And that's what we do. And most of the time, we never even would call the phone numbers. We didn't remember them girls or nothing like that. We would just knock them off, getting the number, you know. And man, it was just good time. It was good times like that, man. It was good time. I remember one time we hit a lick. We hit a lick on a robbery. And I forgot how much money we got from it, but I know he dropped his money. He dropped his money in the car when I was dropping him off. And I seen it after I got back to the tilt. I seen it. It was rolled up. It was like, I think $900 or $1,000, something like that. So I'm like, dang, the homie dropped his money. And I remember trying to call him, but he wasn't answering the phone, so I had to beep him. Of course, cell phones wasn't out back then. I called to the house phone, and it wasn't no answer. So I beeped him. He didn't answer. He didn't call back. So the next morning, he ended up calling me. And he was like, man, you ain't gonna believe this. I'm like, man, what's up? He's like, man, I lost my money. I'm like, no, man, I got it. He's like, man, how you get it? I'm like, man, you dropped it. You know, you dropped it in the car. I tried to call, but, you know, and I beeped you, but now, you know, he said, I see a beep. So, but anyway, you know, I'm like, when I come pick you up, because at the time I had the car, he didn't have no car. When I come pick you up, I got it. He's like, all right. You know, times like that, you know, a lot of dudes, especially in this day and age, they not going to get the money back. They not going to do their homie like that. They going to lock up on it. They going to put the money in their pocket and swear up and down they don't know what happened. Not me and Ray, though. Not me and the homie. Not me and the homie. Man, I like it. You know, it was times when the police would pull us over and we trying to see who going to take the case. Because I don't want to see him go to jail, and, you know, he don't want to see me go to jail. So we trying to see who would take the case. You know what I mean? We was going to go together, or, you know what I'm saying? We was both just going to both leave, you know, or sometimes police like, all right, well, you get caught with a heat or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Hey, man, who heated? You know what I'm saying? Hey, man, it's not, you know, I got it. It's mine. You know, boom. But it was times like that. That's how close of a homie he was, you know? We was like in the county jail. We was in the crip module together in 4800. 4700, you know, like times like that when we was in there, and one of us was gonna have to be a floor sleeper because the beds was taken up and it was only one more bed left. No, my homie wasn't going sleeping on no floor, and he felt the same way about me. No, my homie ain't sleeping on no floor. Man, we in the same bed. His stanky feet in my face on this end, and my stanky feet in his face down on that end, you know, straight like that. Homie love, you know, that's real. If it was times where it wasn't nothing but We was in the county jail hungry. It was #1 candy bar. And he might have been on this end or that end. And might have had one candy bar left. Man, I break that thing in half and I wrap it up in paper and send it down the tier to the homie. You know what I'm saying? I was gonna eat half, he was gonna eat half, you know? Just like that. Or if I couldn't get it down there to him, I eat my half and I save his half till one of the tier tenders or tier runners come out and I get it down there to him, you know? Just like that. If he went on a visit and I didn't go, when he came back with money, he would give me half. If I went and he didn't go when I came back with money, I'd give him half, you know? Just like that. Hey, that was my dog. That was my dog. I don't think I will never ever in life again run across a partner like that. In fact, I know I won't. I know I won't. You know what I'm saying? I know I won't never run across another partner like him. Think about the homie every day. You know, I miss him. I miss him bad. When I tell you I miss him bad. I miss him bad. But hey, you know, I guess it was God's plan. You know, it ain't for me to question God. You know, it's just for me to do what I'm told. You know, I miss him. And I pray that he's in a better place. And I see him soon, you know. Well, anyway, man, that just, me. I just wanted to reminisce about the homie a little bit with y'all, you know. Y'all probably might think it was a bunk video. I don't know. But I just wanted to reminisce about it, you know what I'm saying? But in the meantime, between time, man, y'all tell the people you love them. And I represent Jesus Christ, y'all. I'm out.